The room went quiet the moment her daughter laughed. Not a polite laugh. Not a small one. A real, full-bodied laugh that lit up her face. And for the first time that winter, the CEO forgot where she was, forgot the polished chandeliers, forgot the hundreds of eyes watching her every move. She only saw her deaf daughter smiling at a stranger across the table, a single dad janitor, moving his hands gently in the air. If you've ever believed one small moment can change a life, stay with this story until the end, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this remind us why humanity still matters. Elena Carter had built her empire with iron focus. As CEO of one of the city's largest tech firms, she was known for her discipline, her sharp decisions, and her emotional distance. People admired her power but feared her presence. What few knew was that behind closed doors, Elena was just a mother trying to make her daughter feel whole in a world that constantly reminded her of what she lacked. Her daughter, Lily, had been born deaf, and while Elena could conquer boardrooms, she felt helpless every time Lily looked at her with questions she didn't know how to answer. The annual Christmas charity dinner was supposed to be simple. Appear, donate, smile for cameras, and leave. But this year, Elena had brought Lily with her. She told herself it was because Lily deserved to see generosity in action, but deep down, it was because she didn't want to spend another holiday hiding behind assistance and silence. Lily was 12, bright-eyed, observant, and painfully aware when people spoke around her instead of to her. The ballroom buzzed with laughter and music, but Lily sat stiffly beside her mother, hands folded, eyes scanning the room. Elena tried to include her, writing notes on her phone, pointing out decorations, but Lily's smile never quite reached her eyes. Elena felt the familiar sting of guilt. She had provided the best schools, the best tutors, the best technology, but time, patience, and understanding were things money couldn't buy. Across the room, Mark Reynolds adjusted his ill-fitting suit. He had borrowed it from a neighbor for the night. Mark was the building's maintenance supervisor, invited to the dinner as part of the company's Employee Appreciation Initiative. He hadn't wanted to come. Fancy rooms reminded him of what he'd lost, his wife, his old dreams, but his 6-year-old son had insisted. "Go, Daddy," he'd signed. "Make Mommy proud." Mark's son, Noah, had taught him sign language after his mother passed away and he struggled to communicate with him through grief. Mark noticed the girl at the CEO's table immediately. Not because she was the CEO's daughter, but because of her eyes. He recognized that look, the one that said you're surrounded, yet alone. When Lily's gaze met his, she looked away quickly, used to strangers staring and then moving on. But Mark didn't move on. He raised his hands slowly and signed, "Hello. Christmas is loud, isn't it?" Lily froze. Then her eyes widened. She stared at him, unsure, then lifted her hands. "You know sign language." She signed back, her movements careful but excited. Mark smiled and nodded. "A little. Enough to listen." Lily laughed, sudden and bright, the sound cutting through the room like a bell. That was when Elena looked up. At first, Elena's instinct was irritation. Who was this man distracting her daughter? Then she saw Lily, really saw her. Saw the way her shoulders relaxed, the way her face lit up, the way her hands moved freely, without fear of being misunderstood. Elena's breath caught in her throat. She watched as Mark signed slowly, patiently, never interrupting, never correcting. He asked Lily about her favorite Christmas movie. She told him. He signed back that his son loved the same one. Lily's laughter returned, softer now, warm. Elena felt something crack inside her. For years, she had paid experts to communicate with her daughter. Yet here was a stranger doing it effortlessly, not because it was his job, but because it was his life. Later that evening, Elena approached Mark. Up close, he looked nervous, unsure if he'd crossed a line. Elena surprised herself by thanking him. Not with a curt nod or formal words, but with emotion she didn't bother hiding.